Welcome to the Global Discussion, the discussion with creatives, leaders, and thinkers. My name is Simon Hodgkins. Today, it's a real treat. We're joined by Nataly Byelous. Nataly, you're very welcome to the show. Let's begin by asking you to tell us all about your fascinating career and everything that you do. Over to you, Nataly.
Hi, Simon. Nice to see you in person, and thanks for invitation. My fantastic career. Oh my God, this is a bummer, I must say. So yeah, I've been in marketing and communications for circa 20 years now. I've started on television many years ago as a PR specialist, and within the years, I moved from industry to industry and from company to company, staying in tech for a while, for the last 10 years probably, since I've joined my latest and most exciting, I must say, industry, telecommunications. And I've heard a thing or two that we we share this experience. So I think that since 2021, I've been working at RETN, who are a telecom network service provider. We operate in the wholesale market, serving content companies, serving enterprises and wholesale market. And my role is group marketing director. Though, as you've might seen on my LinkedIn, I call myself a juggler, a chief juggler at RETN.
I love it. I love the term chief juggler. I think that's very apt for somebody that looks after all of the marketing. There's so much going on. And look, your organization, I mean, you won a great award last year. I know that you were the best pan-European carrier last year.
Yeah.
You won that award. And I'm sure you had a little something to do with that too, being in marketing. But also, what blew me away was the size of the network at this stage, over 870 points of presence, POPs. Is that correct at this time?
Yeah, that is true. We manage and run our own network, IP, PLS, DVDM, DWDM, and it's 135,000 kilometers of network, mostly in Europe and Asia, but extended to North America, and with latest developments in Dubai and other extraordinary places.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much indeed for giving us that little bit of context. So from TV to telecommunications and everything in between. Now, look, the internet's exploding. Content is getting faster and faster. We living in a world of where we have AI now. We have machines talking to machines. So you and your organization are really the backbone behind all this stuff that connects everything together around the world. And I'm just wondering, it in your role today as the group marketing director, you must be dealing with lots of change. There must be lots of things happening from a marketing perspective. What's it like in your world at the moment, Nataly?
That's an interesting question. So I can reply to it based on which area of life, of professional life to address. So basically, if we're talking about marketing side of things, yes, there are a lot of new tools. There is a lot of new things we can explore and try. But there are also bases, like you need to talk to people. Even though the machines are talking to machines, you need to address your customers in a certain way through multiple channels, building omni-channel campaigns and everything, but you're still talking to people, and this is the essence, right? So you need to understand their pain points, you need to understand what they are telling you back, because it's always a dialogue. And yes, we explore a lot of tools, we play with some, we heavily utilize others. And there is just a learning curve to everything. So we need to adapt and quickly proceed with everything new on the market to be more successful, to be more effective, and to just be aligned with the future, If we're talking about telecoms and the responsibility of the operators, it's another thing. So yes, exactly. There is also a lot of innovation. Everybody now are heavily talking about sustainability, environmental sustainability, other factors of ESG, and in general, I'm just happy to work for a company that takes care of that as well. That's why we're cooperating with vendors with whom we are operating and cooperating. So Juniper or Infinera And basically, these big vendors are dedicating a lot of their investments and a lot of their efforts into building sustainable equipment, and we can benefit, and our customers therefore can benefit from it as well. It also makes operations of our business much more smooth and much more sustainable. So it's not only about benefiting the customers or environment, but it's also benefiting us being able to provide this high value service, which is obviously one of the most important USPs. Yeah, and there are so many other factors that we need to consider, with everything that is happening in the world, with some environmental factors, with some geopolitical factors. I think we are standing and staying on top of things. And actually, my team just launched a PR campaign yesterday with push to the community of operators and push of enterprise customers to actually be very critical when picking up partnerships, because we all need to understand the complexity of situation and think for the future when we are picking up resilient providers.
It's an excellent point, and I think that whether it's from a supply chain perspective or who you partner with in a business environment, I think the rigor that you apply to that and the investigation that you put into that and making sure that you're partnered with the right people has probably never been more important. Particularly from if you're looking to expand your business, do more business with other companies, other organizations, and also attract talent to your organization. You need to have that correct. And people may not know, but you've a lot of experience. I know you're the group marketing director, but you've a lot of experience in the communications area. I know you were head of communications for Ring for a little while. You've done lots of different, high profile communications roles. And I want to ask you this, Nataly. In your role today, what do you think are the key messages that you need to get out to your industry? What's sort of the hot topics that you're thinking about messaging around from a communications perspective? You mentioned that one example from a PR perspective. You've also touched on the environmental responsibility, but is there like a little sort of handful of hot topics that you're really keen to put forward from a marketing perspective and a communications perspective?
Well, there is no specific message that is hidden somewhere and is not on the surface that we're pushing out. So basically, all our marketing messages are out there on our LinkedIn and in our press materials and everything. But yeah, so basically, we as a company, so obviously our communications are totally linked to the business goals, right? No news there. But how the company operates and how the company actually behaves, marketing only wraps it up, in messaging and helps to deliver this message to the right target audiences. I think that this is the best description of what we are doing at RETN. And I mean, my team. And in general, we started some of the important messages that we are sharing with the community, and not because you must know that telecom is a very communal industry. Everybody knows everyone, and yeah, we're all linked, because if somebody fails, then we just can't send the data further, because we're all dependent on each other. And yeah, so for us as a company, and for me personally as well, it's very important that we pay so much attention to the resilience of the network and being able to, to grow quickly, to scale up quickly, to be agile as much as possible. There are some companies on the market who are these, monstrous legacy companies who are quite slow in everything, or either in service provision, or either in adaptiveness. They still play a huge role in the industry, and they probably will, maybe forever, maybe for some time being. But the question is of whether they are shaping the right future for the industry and for all the consumers of this industry. This is a big question for me.
Yeah, no, thank you for giving us that insight. And we're talking here about everything from in the environment to partnerships, to wrapping up that message, as you say, and representing how the company acts and behaves. And also all these new tech tools you were talking about earlier too. The tech stack is constantly changing. There's always a new toy to play with in the marketing world. I want to know, Natalie, from your perspective as you know, a senior person looking after the marketing for your organization, do you think it's harder today than it was a few years ago in terms of being an effective marketer? Do you think it's just different than it was years ago? Because it seems to be a very complex, busy environment at the moment.
Yeah, I think it is what it is, I don't compare it, whether it is becoming easier or not. I guess the more experience you gain, the easier it is for you to manage to survive in this world, in this crazy world. But in general, yeah, of course, because I meaning, yes, of course, it's harder because when we had only 5 channels to distribute our content and to deliver the message, and we knew for sure that if, I don't know, if you work for pharma and you go with TV ads, you will definitely hit the sales goals just because you're showing those ads. This is not working anymore like that. The latest, so I remember when it was you have 30 seconds to make an impression, then it was I think 15, and maybe not everybody will listen to you for the full time. Then at Super Bowl ads a couple of years ago, it was 3 seconds. And yesterday or a couple of days ago at CMO Summit, I've heard that we've got 1.7 seconds to make an impression. I'm sorry, where is this all going? So yeah, it is getting harder and harder to deliver the message and to make an impression, to position yourself in the right way, because even the number of companies in the industry is just scaling up as crazy. And yes, but well, we have our own tasks. We need to keep an eye on competition. We need to remember who we are and be authentic and basically move forward with it. And the tools should have helped us with that and not just distract us. Oh, hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I think they both help and distract at the moment. There's a lot.
May I ask what you think, Simon, about this?
Yeah, I've certainly. I think there are some tools that are mind-blowingly good. And I often say to myself, I don't know how we could manage the level of complexity, the amount of work, the volume, the throughput that we do without automation, without software, without some algorithmic assistance, and without AI. I do,
Mm.
I'm a big believer in that, but I'm also a big believer in AI for good. I'm a big believer in making sure you keep a tight rein on your technology stack from, your MarTech stack from a marketing perspective,
Yeah.
because it can, and I've seen this and I've experienced this, it can grow out of control where you feel compelled to try everything that's new in case you miss something, where actually sometimes taking a step back, focusing on what's important to you, what's important to your brand, what are your goals. And I think you said it earlier, being able to tie that back to, well, what's the company trying to achieve? What are our actual outcomes? So that would be my view on it, Natalie. I don't know about you.
No, no, I completely agree. And I believe this is how we've met, right? So we both attended AI for Marketers webinar. I agree, but what helps me and what I appreciate really about AI is that basically it leaves us more space for something really important or strategic, or I don't think that ChatGPT can really help me with coming up with a new great idea for, I don't know, a new PR campaign or strategizing about the structure of my team. Yes, it does, if you write the correct prompt. But in general, reshaping the image for 500 other formats, because it's just easier with one click of a button, saves us a lot of time on briefing the designer, getting those designs back, and all of that, right? So we hopefully get more time on thinking and doing the right stuff as well.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think it's a great point. And let me ask you then, obviously you're working with lots of different people. You've got your own team, your own department, you're working with lots of partners around the world. If somebody was to stop you and say, look, I'm thinking about getting into this marketing role, Have you got any advice for me? What's the best advice you've received along the way, along your career journey? Is there some advice that you've been told over the years that has stayed with you that you think is a good thing for group marketing directors or CMOs to understand? Or if somebody just said to you, "Hey, Nataly, give me some advice. I want to get into marketing. I want to improve my career. I want to get into the C-suite. I want to get a board seat table, whatever it is." Have you got any advice that you'd share with those people?
Um, that's a good one. So the best advice I've ever I've actually got when I was 13, and it was an advice provided by my best friend. She told me to never regret of anything, mostly because there is no way of going back and doing stuff differently. So you just need to worry about the future, and you need to plan the future so you don't make those mistakes again. If we're talking about people who want to become marketers, I think that the best advice would be to um, really prioritize theoretical and then practical education, especially if we're talking about marcoms or communications, media relations, press, people, and everything. Because the most important things I've learned when I was a student many, many years ago, was ethics of public relations and what does it mean and what are the backgrounds. And within my career of which transformed from press secretary or PR manager to marketing generalist, who I'm now basically, is that you need to understand the backgrounds of ethical professional behavior. And I think it relates to any industry, any profession in the world, but in comms, where trust and when you're managing the reputation of the business is the most important and groundbreaking. So I would say that they need to prioritize their education. And yes, now with so many courses, so many universities, so many of everything, it's harder to pick the right ones. I can still recommend my own alma mater, but this is not for the C-suite, right? This is for start of the career. And yeah, for everything else, I guess I was consulting a lot when the war in Ukraine started, because a lot of talented people moved out of the country, fleeing the war, and I was helping them finding their place in marketing roles of all kinds in Germany and Netherlands, where I'm based, and some other countries nearby. And I've seen a lot of imposter syndrome and not understanding where they belong on the market and everything. And I guess that we can all benefit from embracing our strong sides and just believing in ourselves, and then trying to work on the business tasks that the companies that we want to cooperate with are working on, and thinking of how can we benefit the business.
No, thank you, Nataly. I really like that. You mentioned obviously being based in the Netherlands now. I love Amsterdam, for example. It's a great melting pot of cultures and people, and there's a lot of creative work going on there for sure. And my question is kind of leads from that a little bit. Because you work in with a global network, because you work, pan-European, because you work across Asia, you must have to deal with a lot of partnerships, people, and whether it's regulations, whether it's communication styles, whether it's culture across the world. Does that alter the way you approach it from a group marketing director's perspective? Because it's not the same as communicating just in one country, or
No.
you're crossing many geographical borders, but the internet and your network to some degree, it doesn't, it goes across borders.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's not an easy run, I must say, and it's beyond localization of copy or anything else. So you really need to understand the culture. You need to really understand the business ethics and complexities of everything. I'm very lucky to have a lot of local teams. So we operate in 41 countries. With our network, we have 17 offices around Europe and Asia, and hopefully we'll be opening some more sooner than later anywhere else. And we designed our company in a way that we have local sales teams and tech teams in places so we can serve our customers quicker, sooner with this local but global expertise. And basically, I consult with them a lot because otherwise we would not pull this off. And we still don't, help enough, do enough, I guess, because so many regions, so many countries, so many necessities to be very precise in what we are trying to do in a specific country, in a specific region, or even in a specific, time frame of something that is happening in the country. And yeah, working with local partners and I mean vendors for different marketing activities or marketing assistance and working with our internal stakeholders on places really helps.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think there's some definite learning in there, and obviously you're setting yourselves up for success globally because of that. World that you work in, it has to take into account that high level of ethics, that understanding of international marketplaces. So it's great to hear you talking about that. And obviously having those local teams on the ground in all those geographic areas certainly will help, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Natalie, just a real simple question, if I can.
sure.
What do you love about your current role? What do you like about the work that you do?
Frankly, and nobody will hear that, of course, right? So I have a lot of freedom. I have a lot of, I have a big trust credit that was given to me when I joined the company. And I believe I still have it because I proved myself and proved the value that me and my team brings to the business. And basically, company is quite flexible on experimenting and on trying things that we suggest. Obviously, we always advocate for those things. It's not just, running here and then running there, and it's just a circus. There is a strategy behind it, but without ABCD, EFT testing, there wouldn't be, success. So yeah, this is what I appreciate. And another thing that I appreciate is the opportunity to learn. So it is very hard because telecom is a engineers driven industry, and I'm no way an engineer. So I have a lot to learn, and I'm still learning. Been here for 3.5 years, and we also have a very talented team. So I have a lot of subject matter experts that I can come to, and I can just say, I just don't get it. Can you explain to me it in simple words? And sometimes they can do it in simple words, sometimes they don't. But there is a lot of cooperation in the team, and I highly appreciate it.
Yeah, love that. Love that trust credit as well. I like to ask all my guests.
Don't tell my boss.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I'd like to ask all my guests, if I can, about the sort of future a little bit and to talk about whether it's the next 6, 12, 18 months or even further out. But how do you go about planning in your world? What's on your horizon? What's on your roadmap? What's keeping you up at night? What are you hoping to achieve? How does that work in your world, Natalie?
Mhm. Do you want a long answer or a short one?
I'll take the long one for sure.
Okay. Well, I've mentioned that I'm learning a lot, right? So I intend to continue that learning and basically by deepening my knowledge of the industry and especially of customers, I think that I can deliver much better marketing strategies for different countries and globally for our group of companies. So on my roadmap is attending a lot of conferences and a lot of travel actually, because this is the place where you see the essence of the industry, how it operates and everything. And frankly, on a very personal level, it also gives me telecom industry gives me the feeling of belonging, because despite it's a huge global industry, there are not so many players in it, and you can more or less easily find out the right people quite quickly. and cooperation with these people, or partner marketing, or just, discussing business opportunities, or just knowing more of how they operate, why they position this or that, why they decide to. So for instance, internet exchanges are now, we see on the market, are making a huge move into, being something different than what they used to be like 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. I'd like to understand why this is happening, what will be driving them in another, 12 months or 24 months or even further, because this will shape the industry as well. So I would like to learn more, and I would like to, so that award that you've mentioned, we are actually shortlisted again for the same nomination and a few others in the same prestigious Global Career Awards, and also in Glottal Awards. From the day I've joined, we were laughing about pitching a marketing team as the best marketing team in telecoms. And we've never actually submitted any paper on that. And I think that within the next 12 months, this will be the task. So we finally need to at least show that we are also doing something good there for the world to see. And yeah, what else? Yeah, I have a lot of family stuff. So I have 2 kids. So there is a lot of life in that work-life balance as well, obviously. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will pick up a new study course, which I also like to do. And I need to dedicate some time to learning Dutch as well. So there is a lot on my plate. Yeah. Yeah, maybe also hiring a couple of people to my team to increase the input, the results that we're bringing, and so much more. A lot of plans.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got an exciting future ahead, that's for sure. Lots going on, Natalie.
Totally.
Lots going on. And you definitely have to enter the best marketing team category,
Oh,
okay?
God.
Get that submission in, all right? So that's wonderful. Look, 2 questions to finish up our time together, Natalie. Is there anything else that you want to share with our worldwide audience today? That could be something we've talked about already or something completely new. It's totally up to you. Parting thoughts kind of thing. And secondly, and importantly, if people want to connect with you, find out more about your organization and the work that you do, where's the best place to send them to? So two questions to wrap up.
Yeah, sure. I'll start with the second one. So my company name is RETN, RETN, and you can find us on retn.net or our LinkedIn. And yeah, we're quite open to any kind of cooperation, communication, and everything. If you want to contact me personally, I'm quite active on LinkedIn. My name is Nataly Byelous, so you can find me there as well. And advice or something else that I would like to share is, if you think of career in marketing, do that for sure, because it's really fun. You can do whatever you want. You can figure out some creative ideas, some crazy ideas. You can test them, you can try them, and you can bring real value to your customers and to your companies. And basically, I've always seen myself as as a person who just helps to find this way of communicating and building a trustful dialogue between the customers and the companies. And it's an amazing place to be in. So do that. And if you're in telecoms, just see you around at any conference that is coming up.
Yeah, you'll certainly bump into Natalie on the conference circuit over the next year or so for sure. Well,
Yeah.
Natalie, that brings us nicely to the end of our episode today. Thanks so much indeed to everybody who's been watching or listening to this discussion on the global discussion. I want to encourage you to like, follow, subscribe, do everything I need you to do to help support this show. Go and check out all the great work over at retn.net, RETN. Go and check it out. They're doing some fabulous work. Continued success to Natalie. And all that's left for me is to thank you, Natalie, for being our guest today here on the show. And I hope people will join me back here for some more great discussions with creatives and leaders and thinkers just like Natalie. Thank you, Natalie. It's been wonderful to talk to you again today.
Likewise, if I can share, the last thing is for people to subscribe to your show as well.
Thank you, Natalie. You're very kind.
Thanks very much.